What is up, and welcome back to another episode of the Wired Sound podcast. Today we have a special guest, Christiano Jordano, legendary DJ, absolutely crushing it in Miami. I know you were a Philly guy before, and we're going to get into that a little bit about your background and what you've been doing in the DJ world. So how you been, man?
Good, man. Just getting ready for the pool season to open up. It's going to start in next month. It's Miami's peak season. It's usually like around Valentine's Day and goes to about June. It's like the busiest time in Miami.
Yeah, Miami's weird, right? You have that little die down period that everywhere else is busy, but like Miami, when the cold comes around, people don't want to go out to the pool. They don't want to party.
All the snowbirds come down.
Yeah.
You would think the summertime be really busy, but it's not as busy as the winter months.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of ups and downs in Miami club life.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to? What are some recent accomplishments of Christiano Jordano?
A lot. Well, I got my own label. As you know, Terminal. It's been doing really well. I just found out today we're on the top 10 trending most trending labels for melodic house and techno.
Oh, that's
Beatport,
sick.
Which is dope. Number 7. That's been taken off. When we first started about 2.5 years ago, I remember we didn't get our first demo until about maybe 5 months after we opened. Mm-hmm. And then slowly we're getting like maybe 2 demos a month. And now we're up to like 7 demos a week, averaging, which is pretty dope.
How do you manage that? Is that just you? Or?
So I got my boy Bo. He's my partner, Bo Grills. He used to be like, I known him for over a decade. He was the first guy that started like teaching me a little bit about Logic, and I learned a lot from him. And we just became close, and he hit me up out of nowhere after we lost contact, and we made a record together out of nowhere, and then we wound up wanting to release it, and then we just wanted to self-release, so we just created a label for it.
Okay, that's how it comes about always.
And then from there, it just kind of, steamroll. So we'll do demo reviews. He lives in Puerto Gordo. We'll get on Muse, which is a great platform, by the way, for collaborating.
Muse.
It's called
not the AI, right? That's all.
No. Okay. It's called musesessions.co. Amazing collaboration platform. You can literally work in someone else's DAW from around the world and write on your MIDI computer using their plugins and their DAW from wherever they are.
Did you know that's how Splice originally came about? Splice was supposed to be a Ableton software sharing thing to collab with producers, and then everyone just used it for samples, obviously.
Wow. So Muse has been, we're like one of the beta testers when it first came out, because we started 3 years ago, and then they gave us lifetime memberships because we started so early.
Dope.
So we just had to pay this one fee, and now we're lifetime. So it's pretty dope. I think it's like a monthly fee for everybody else, but I would still pay it. It's so worth it.
So are you like actually getting involved with the production of the people releasing on your label, or is it just kind of like, do you use Muse just to like review the tracks?
Okay, so me and Bo, if we're making a collaboration, we're using Muse.
Okay.
For reviewing the tracks, anytime I talk to him when we're reviewing anything with music, we're using Muse. We're seeing each other face to face on the cameras on our laptop, and we're clicking and listening to the record. We're throwing it in like Logic. We use Logic. We're looking at the meters. You know what I mean? We're seeing we're seeing the waveform.
You're a Logic producer, huh?
Yeah, I'm a Logic producer.
I'm an Ableton guy over
honestly, I kind of like, I can tell when I hear an Ableton track, and I'm just like, damn, Ableton just sounds clean. It does. There's something about.
Well, it's very user friendly, I think. So,
but I also hear like something different. Like it brings like this modern. Like Logic, I think, is too warm. Like if you made a track in Logic and in Ableton exactly the same and bounce them both out and listen to them side by side, I guarantee you'll hear that Logic is a little warmer and Ableton is a little more like crisp.
Yeah.
But so that's what's
for
modern
listeners
right now.
that don't know, because we might have people that don't know. Logic and Ableton are the two music production software. I'd say like the leading music production software to create music, especially in electronic dance music. So that's what we're talking about with Logic and Ableton.
But I think so. I mean, I don't know. And I should learn Ableton too.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, as long as you know your DAW and you can master it, then just lean into it. So that's dope, man. So I'm glad to hear the label's going well.
Yeah, label's going well.
Have you thrown any label parties yet?
Yes, we did two. We did three so far. We had two Miami Music Weeks back to back.
Okay.
2023, 2024, and then we did an ADE one in Amsterdam in October.
How was Amsterdam?
Amsterdam's great. If you're a DJ and you wanna get some connections, Amsterdam, ADE every October, it's the place to be.
Yeah, everyone says Miami's like the party.
Yeah,
ADE's like the actual.
Exactly.
Get
That's
done.
exactly right. I feel like Miami Music Week is more party oriented, but ADE you still got that party feel, but there is more going on. There is more connections.
What do you think like the most meaningful connection you made during ADE was? Is there anyone?
Honestly,
that you
I met
were
some
like,
new artists that wind up signing. Like this one guy, Gazetta. I've seen him a couple times too, but when we met in, I think I said his name right, Gazetta. Yeah.
He's gonna come after you.
Don't hate me, but yeah, just like bonding with some new artists, and he's got a record coming out on the 31st this month.
Yeah. Okay.
He's actually throwing a terminal release party in New York right now.
Oh,
like
that's
today.
awesome. So he's promoting the label.
So he asked me if he could promote.
See, that's huge to have people repping the label.
Yeah, there's two other artists too. One guy, Kron, it came out, track came out a couple of weeks ago, and Hypnoza, her track comes out next month, and them three they all together in New York. So they put her label release.
That's
label
amazing.
release.
You got to go out for it. What do you?
I know.
What are you doing here?
I don't know, man. I know. I couldn't make it. The
Yeah.
next one. I'm coming to the next one.
So I think that's you touched on an important point for like aspiring producers.
Yeah.
Making that face-to-face connection really does make a huge difference.
It does.
So if you're trying to get stuff signed, a lot of artists, like I run my own label, you're an artist, you run your own label. We run our own labels as well, and they could be platforms if you're an up-and-coming producer to use. So come out to our shows. Not going to plug, but a little plug there.
Exactly.
And, say you're a producer, make that in-person connection.
Yeah.
And we will actually listen to your song when it's like that. It's a lot different when we're just getting emails from a faceless producer.
It's how I got on Cold Harbor, Marcus Schultz's label. I bumped in. I was closing for, this is a story, DJ story. I was closing for Joel Corey at Strawberry Moon. And the first song I put in is my song. I was testing it out. I was like, as I'm transitioning from his track to mine, and it just goes off. And he comes back and he's like, "Yo, what is this?" Like Joel Corey's like, "Yo, what is this track?" And I said, "It's my new track. I'm looking to get it signed." And Marcus Schultz's wife is in the booth as well. And she came over and she saw that interaction and she was like, "Yo, this track is sick."
You never know who's listening.
Exactly. And she's like, "You should send it to us." Like, we'll sign it. I'm like, "All right. Like, what's your email?" And from there it just went.
Yeah, to have Joel Corey like co-sign your track is huge as well.
That was dope.
That
was Runaway.
I think there's like an important thing for DJs too, because it does feel a bit not uncomfortable, but if you're not playing a crowd that necessarily knows who you are, to put your own music in the set, it takes a little bit of like, a little bit of, it's a little nerve-wracking.
Plus, if you're like me, I don't make, the kind of music that I make isn't the most, it's kind of niche, I should say.
Yeah.
It's not played a lot in the normal clubs. So it's going to be hard for me to even play my own music to a crowd that didn't come for me.
Crowd, yeah.
You know what
Especially
I mean?
Joel Corey.
So I'm not going to play. Yeah. So if it's something that maybe made sense, I know it was a really hype track and he already had a crowd there that stayed. I was like, all right, this is my time. This is a perfect time to play the track. It could definitely...
Yeah, there's definitely. Do you prepare a different DJ set as a support act versus a headliner?
100%.
Yeah,
and based on the venue.
Yeah, I think that I wouldn't have been brought back because I've supported at Dare for like Zed, and Deadmau5 and some of these really big guys and girls, and I don't think that would have happened if I just played my normal headlining set. And a lot of DJs, they get booked as support, and they're like, "Oh, this is like my time," and they don't play the support act. And you gotta play it right.
You got to. I mean, listen. I've done it. I'm not gonna lie. I did it once when I first got my first big club. I remember, and I think it was a support for Andrew Rael, and I know he's probably gonna hate me forever, but I don't. I just did my thing. I was at a weird point. I was like, I wanted to just go off. I think the lighting guy thought I was Andrew Rael because he gave me the works when I went on.
Oh my god!
But I shouldn't have done that. I really shouldn't have. I'm sorry, Andrew, but it was a great night, and he still killed it, and I I had like
Did he
great
say anything
content
to
from
you,
it.
or
No, but they definitely
talk to
telling me
you?
to chill. And I think
Yeah.
I also played a track that
That's the
wasn't
worst.
his, that was on his label, and maybe he was gonna play, and I had no idea that the track was on his label. So do your research too if you're a supporting DJ to listen to the artist's label, and sometimes he might play, you know, tracks that are on his label that aren't his too. You know,
Yeah,
in
you
a
gotta,
set. So you gotta
expect
just
that.
know.
Have you ever gotten? So this is a bit of a support act DJ insider thing, but have you ever gotten a do not playlist from a headlining
Yes,
DJ?
I have.
So
I have.
that's tough. Right?
I thought they would come more often, but they don't come as much. But
Yeah, I
have seen
know.
that.
I think maybe a month ago I was playing with a pretty big artist, and I got it the day of.
Yeah.
And I'd say 30% of the tracks. I'm sorry, I had at least like 30 of those tracks in my 100-track set.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of my songs. I had to be like, shit, I can't play that. Can't play
Damn.
that. Can't play that.
Yeah,
And
I don't think I would ever do that personally. I don't think I
Put
would
a do not playlist?
No, I don't think I would.
I get it
don't
from their
know.
perspective maybe, but because you don't want to play the same thing that
Right.
the support act played. But yeah, it's definitely it's a bit of a challenge when you get a day of. You know,
Yeah.
just give me a week.
I'm starting to see a lot of artists bring their own support now too. All of a sudden, more and more.
That is definitely becoming a trend as well. So do you have any thoughts on like associating with a bigger act as a up and coming DJ? Do you think that's an important thing to do to try and like have
Like a support, like try to get on like maybe a touring schedule with them. and
Yeah,
be a support.
exactly.
I think that would be great. I think if that opportunity came along and it was with the right person, I would do it.
Because
Sure.
I've heard agents like, you know, I'm on my TikTok algorithm
Yeah.
is all like EDM industry stuff, and I've heard agents say like they don't sign acts that are on the support all the time, and I find that interesting. I'm like, how else do you grow your brand? Because they just want the headliner out of the gate.
Yeah, that is wild.
And you know, so I'm like, I find myself being like, should I play this support act, or is it gonna hurt my overall brand?
No, you
But-
know what? I think you do what you want to do, and that agent is probably just not for you. And you'll
Yeah.
probably find the agent who doesn't care about that and probably sees that, yo, you're hustling, you're coming out here,
Yeah,
you're trying
how
to do
else
your
do you
thing.
build it? Like,
Yeah, I know.
and learn to play those big crowds.
One of my good friends from Philly, Eddie, he's Paulie D's touring DJ.
Okay.
And he's always with them, and I'm sure he's gotten a big, grew his following from that, and you know, it's pretty cool. You get to travel, you get good money, and you're getting exposure. You get to play at all these clubs.
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
you see it all. Like I remember, I think it was Nora M. Pure. I think she started under EDX. I know she was under his label for a
Okay.
while, and I think
Yeah.
she might have been touring under him. And then, so you know, to all my aspiring DJs out there, you can definitely associate with a bigger
Yeah.
act, and then become even bigger. Like it's definitely
I
possible.
try to ignore the stereotypes. Really, I think like if you're just doing what you
Do
like
what
to
you love,
do,
yeah.
do what you love. That's going to open up all the doors that you need to open for you. You know,
100%.
because everyone's path is different. It's completely different. You shouldn't be looking at someone else's, how they got to where they got. You should be just focusing on doing what you love to do, and that's
And
it.
people will find the stuff that you're making, and
exactly.
you'll find your audience.
Yeah, you'll find your fans are going to find you. You know.
Yeah. So, all right. So you had that experience with Joel Corey. Any other
Yeah.
cool support act experiences that are just even Miami DJ set experiences?
So I close a lot more than open. I just
Okay.
opened recently at Dare, actually for the first time at your home turf.
I love
that was
it.
dope. To be honest, and DOD were on the label.
Oh, I love
we're on
DOD.
the ticket. But I close a lot. I like closing. I tend to like the after hour stuff more.
Mm-hmm.
But the cool thing was Basil 2 years ago. I closed for Claptone, and I got to wear. I was wearing his mask.
Oh my God.
Not his exact mask that he had on, but there was another one. And I just put, and I put it on, and he looked at me, and he was like, you know, he
Go
gave me
with
like a cool like slap, what's going on type of deal. Like,
and
and
then
it was
from
cool.
that day forward, you became Claptone.
Yeah,
And now this
yeah.
is the reveal.
I'm Clapton's body
I always
double.
thought that was interesting. If you were like a mask wearing DJ, like how do we know they're not like changing the person
Right, I always-
behind the mask?
I know.
You might be the next Clapton for all we know.
You never know.
Probably already are.
I mean, you can probably tackle more ground that way too.
Yeah, I'm like Marshmallow. Is it still the same Marshmallow from 10 years ago?
Right. You gotta check his height.
Yeah, you know. I know there've been conspiracy theories where they're like, how did they play this show at this time and this show
Yeah.
at this time?
Yeah.
Two marshmallows running around.
nuts.
Okay, so yeah, that's cool though. That I love that you're building your own label community, and I think
Yes.
that's a really important thing. That you know, you build up your own sound, you build up your own community, and
Yeah.
then throw parties around that.
Yeah, it's been cool. I mean, I'm starting to see artists that are submitting songs that I'm like, man, this sounds like something that me and Bo would make, or it really does sound like it's tailored to the label. And I was just on the phone with him today. I was like, yo, I think we are like kind of morphing into a different type of sound that's not, that, yeah, it can fit in the same lane as others, but it does have something different. And it's cool to just see, you know, people's demo, like what they write, like, oh, I've been following your label since the beginning, and I really like want to get on it. It's like so cool to see that like finally happening, like people really enjoying connecting to it.
Yeah, I think it's important. I was talking to Bobby, who's behind the camera, about this earlier, about how it's important to have like a idea where you want to take your sound and then find a label home that makes sense for you. And even if the label doesn't get you thousands or hundreds of thousands of streams, it associates you with a specific brand, and people are like, I know that this guy or girl will come prepared with that specific style. And that's the advantage of signing to some of these dance music labels.
Right. Yeah, I wanted to create a platform to help to get people, you know, kind of exposure fast, because I know how hard it was for me when I first started. I mean, I used this name a long time ago, but then I wind up having a different alias for a couple of years, and then I left that and came back to my original name. And I was just like, man, I did all the trial and error and you know, to try to get off the ground. And what I learned, I want to be able to just help someone, you know, who signs a label get their foot and off running properly, you know.
Yeah.
Get on Beatport right away.
So
you know,
you don't have to answer this, but are you guys a 50-50 label with the artist share for your contracts? Or are they usually
okay? So
you don't have to answer. That's why I prefaced it like that.
We'll do 50-50 deals.
Okay.
If I see that there's a lot of guys, like maybe two artists, whatever on the other side, then I'm going to do 50-50 deals so they have a nice split.
Yeah.
But like I've done majority.
I mean, the label, you're doing a lot of work.
Listen, I put money into it. I put my own money into other people's songs, so it
doesn't always recoup, right?
And it doesn't always recoup. So if I'm putting the money up from it, I would like to get a bigger chunk. Yeah. But you know, depends, man. If I'm really liking the track, like really liking it, and I sign stuff that I really like all the time. But there's ones that you're like, wait, this has the potential to be like a viral hit.
And you want to put the money behind.
You want to become a full-time DJ or music producer? Well, here at Wired Sound Academy, we can help you level up your skills from 0 to 100 in 4 weeks. Check out wiredsoundacademy.com for more info.
And we're back. So we were talking about label deals, right? And you said 50-50 sometimes, 70-30.
Yeah, 50-50, depends, 70-30, depends on the track, how many people are involved.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I think that what a label really is, obviously it's a platform to put your music on out, but sometimes it acts a little bit like a bank as well to like fund your track.
Yeah.
At least in the traditional sense,
well,
that's where labels
think
started.
They would do, you know.
Yeah, nowadays.
I don't know, not too much. The bigger labels, they probably don't put as much money because they don't have to.
Marketing,
they're big enough where like maybe like their YouTube is already popping, or their, you know, their Instagram is doing well, like, you know, they're well known.
So I had a wild label thing. I've signed a lot of label deals, a lot of single deals. And I did this one with a European label, pretty big, and it was a sub label of Sony, right? And in the deal, it was like they could spend up to $2,000 in marketing.
Okay.
And what they did was they put the song on their own playlist that they own, and then they charged me as a marketing cost. I'm like, how is that even legal?
Right,
like,
it's not.
They're just putting it back in their own pocket. But
they probably have some sort of system where you could go to them on the side and pay them $2,000 to get your track on their playlist, and they're going to use that as like, oh, well.
Yeah, you got to be really careful with your label deals and who you sign with, because they'll do stuff like that where you'll never see a dime. Even if the track, like that track, the one I'm talking about, probably broke $500,000 recently. So I'm like, you know, that was some money I'm missing out on.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry.
No, it's cool. I mean, right now, I'm going to be honest with you. Right now, like when it comes to signing, I'm not looking to sign too much on a big label unless I think it's going to do some other, like I don't look at it as the profit. I'm not looking to sign to another label to make money. I'm looking to sign to a bigger label for the exposure. If I want to sign a track and make money, I'm going to sign it, self-release it.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to get 100% of the royalties off the money that I'm putting behind it. You know?
Like, and that's important too. I think certain tracks should be on a bigger label. Even like I just had one on Spinnin', And to be honest, the cut wasn't great, but I knew that going into it. And I'm like, at the end of the day, this is on a huge platform.
Boom, you're on spinning.
It's on spinning.
Yeah.
People know that, and it's worth it. And that's why they can offer these lower deals, because they know that on their end.
And spinning doesn't just sign like every track.
Yeah.
They sign quality. So.
That's a fair thing,
Right.
And I think as you grow as an artist, as you build your own fan base, then you have a little bit more control to be like, no, like, let's keep it 70-30, 50-50, whatever is a bit more fair. But that's why I do like working with artists forward labels as well. So I mean, labels that are controlled by artists, because a lot of times those label deals are a lot more fair,
right?
And usually like 50-50. So that's what I look out for when I'm signing records.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I wanted to create a platform that was for the artist, and really help them and really do what I want. Like what I want to see in a label do is what I wanted to make my label be about.
Yeah, I think it's awesome you're throwing events too. A lot of labels miss that side. Like I've struggled. I want to throw some fresh squeeze parties, but I haven't done it yet. I just haven't got my ish together.
Yeah.
But it's important because then you get all these DJs and producers that have been releasing on your label to actually perform their song. Yeah. And it adds a whole different element to it.
And then they meet other DJs, other people on the label. They wind up going off and collabing themselves, and it just becomes, it's a cool environment. Yeah. It really is.
All right, so Music Week, are you already booking out for me? We're in January right now? Yeah, we're in January.
January. Music Week, Music Week. I'm already getting my label party together and trying to figure out where else I'm going to be playing. I'm doing after hours. My label party starts at 3 a.m. this year.
Oh, my God, I love it.
3 a.m. to 10, 11 a.m.
Can you announce the venue yet or not yet?
Yeah, it's at the Trip.
Okay.
Which is an after hours venue. The Trip is one of my favorite places to DJ. I actually play on the February 1st. This might not air until by then, but if it doesn't, I'm there February 1st. Honestly, the first time playing there is such a cool experience because it was my 5 a.m. set time. So I just went to bed early. I went to bed at 8 o'clock or whatever. I wake up 3, 4 in the morning, had a coffee, and go to the club to DJ.
That's awesome.
And like the first time it was rough, but after that I'm like, I actually like this better.
Yeah.
I'm a morning
energized,
person.
and then you're up for the rest of the day. You don't go back to sleep after that?
It was just so cool. No.
Wow,
I'm up for
wild.
the day. And then I might go to bed early because I was up early.
Or do a little pre-workout at the gym.
But like that's my day. It's a cool venue. Like I said, we're doing an after hours party. I might do something at Strawberry Moon maybe on the Wednesday.
Okay.
Because we're already booked Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We got some cool parties lined up. So I might do something on the Wednesday. Maybe something more like a mixer or like an open deck.
If you want to team up for something, I'm sure the Academy would love to do something.
That could be something for sure.
But that's one thing. So we're big. Obviously, we're at Wired Sound Academy. Mm-hmm. We do, aspiring DJs, producers come through here. Yeah. What are some tips you would offer to like an aspiring DJ trying to get into the Miami market?
Man, I've seen all kinds of like ways to do it. Go out. Go to the events. Go and meet the people in the booth, or try to at least. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's two types of people. There's the super persistent pain in the ass person, and sometimes they get like my dad always says the squeaky wheel gets the oil. I'm not a squeaky wheel guy. I'm the kind of guy who doesn't like to say anything. I kind of like to let myself kind of speak. Like my actions and characters speak for themselves, but sometimes that doesn't do anything because I'm not speaking up enough, so I'm not getting a gig. So you kind of want to be a little bit in between. You don't want to be too much of a pain and hassle people. Oh, okay. And when you finally meet the guy who's doing the bookings, stop texting him all the time. Don't DM him like constantly. You know what I mean? But if you know who he is, and you know where he's going to be, put yourself there in that. Bump into him. Or whatever.
Physically.
Tell them who you are. Maybe buy them a drink, and have stuff ready to send out. Maybe like a 1-hour mix that you have.
Yeah, be organized. Have that EPK ready.
Be ready, be prepared before it happens. But go to the events. I think the best thing you could do is go to the parties that you want to play at.
Yeah, show love.
Show face. Like, talk to the bartenders. Let them know who you are. There's regulars that come all the time, and bartenders know regulars. Eventually you could talk to a bartender and be like, hey, I want to play here. So, like, you build a connection with them, and like, oh, well, you should talk to, this guy. He's the one who books the DJs. And you were talking to a bartender. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
it happens like that.
It happens
just
like
more
that.
Natural, yeah.
Just That's all. I think you got to be there first, unless you do your research online to try to see who's doing it and sending people messages, emails. But
yeah,
be
it's
professional.
hard to be with the DM DJ or just trying to DM or email,
It is,
cold
it is.
email. It's like
It
the
is.
same thing. I've struggled with it myself trying to get booked. Luckily I have a bit of a repertoire, so people are like taking it a little bit more serious.
Right.
But
There's also real quick. There's also certain sometimes venues have a different like a certain sound that they want to go with, and if you're not in that category, like you should know what the venue is looking for.
reach out to the right spot
before. And if it's not something that you do, then don't reach out to them because they're probably not gonna.
Yeah, you're not gonna play a hip hop club if you're a house DJ.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're looking to play at the Trip, and you're coming with something like commercial, they're not gonna book
Not
you
gonna be
because
the
it's
vibe.
underground club. It's like you got to know the kind of music, so you should go to the club and listen to the music and see the vibe, so you know already. You know what I mean? What this club does, and then make a set at home that you would think would play at the club, and now you're prepared to give someone something. Yo, this is what I play. I think it fits with your club, even though you can play all kinds of stuff, but
Yeah, something that fits the vibe.
yeah.
All right, so I think, where are we at, Bobby? Okay. All right, cool.
Cool.
Yeah, we got like 5 more minutes. So, all right, so that's good for aspiring DJs. Go
Yeah.
out, make the
Go
in-person.
to the parties, dude. Go be where you
I've
wanna
struggled with that, because like I'm
Me
an
too.
introvert naturally,
Same.
and I've had to learn through becoming a DJ to become an extrovert,
Yeah.
and but that really is the only way. It started happening for me, I'd say 5-6 years ago, as becoming like a touring DJ.
Yeah.
Before that, I think I was just known as like a producer, because I started to go out. My buddy Crespo, who I run the school with, I think he couldn't make a set opening for the Chainsmokers. This was opening weekend at Dare. And so he asked, hey, could you play the first part of it? I did that. Booker loved me. And then from that, I've obviously played Dare many times and then grown exponentially as a touring DJ. And that's how it happens. You just got to be around, be present, and, and then your opportunities will arise. And you got to make the best of the opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Don't train wreck, obviously.
That's it. Opening at Dare, the opening week at Dare.
Opening week, the first ever week.
Damn, my wifey might have been there because she helped open up that club.
Oh, really?
She
it was
opened
like
up there when they
literally,
first opened. Yeah.
like they were still like hanging stuff up, like the ceiling was still like being put up and
Yeah,
stuff.
she was probably there.
It was awesome though.
Cool.
Yeah, no, Dare's a vibe.
I just played it for the first time and I loved
You saw the
it.
nightclub?
I mean, I went to one of your gigs when I first came here.
Oh,
I
yeah,
remember
I
you
remember.
invited me out. I went to go see one of your gigs. It was dope. I loved it then, and then actually playing, I'm like, yeah, this place is elite. The sound system's great. I love the venue.
Yeah. It's a vibe there. I think the Miami scene's definitely shifting a little bit as far as like the music culture. I don't know if like Live is still the top like vibe, or like I think Space.
Oh man,
it used to be a
there's
Live
so
crowd.
much we can get in this topic. Actually,
I know.
and I kind of wish we had another. But yeah,
I'm
you're
sorry.
right. No, you're right.
But Space is definitely taken over.
Nightclubs in general are changing, and it is more of an experience.
Yeah, it
that
has
people
to be an
want.
experience.
It's
People
got to
don't
be an
want to pay
experience.
for just.
It's not the bottle
alcohol.
service flexing thing anymore. I don't know if like us as humanity evolved to a better place.
I was speaking to Jake Shore about this before.
Yeah, I think we all kind of collectively are evolving into something else that's more like spiritual, or at least taking the next level in spirituality. And that can mean all kinds of things. And I think experience is a big thing over, paying for a
Partying.
table and partying. And like Space is killing it because they always had that kind of music, and it is about the music at Space.
Yeah.
Whereas Live isn't really.
more about
It wasn't
the party.
first about this, but yeah, it's about the party.
Yeah.
So yeah, more experience. Festivals are doing real well right now. There's so many festivals. They're doing great because you get an experience. you know?
I like to see that as a DJ and artist, because I know that people are gonna maybe come out more for the music, and I'm not gonna have to just play my generic club set. Whereas when you were playing the bottle service crowds, you got to play the bottle service music. That's just the game.
I see some nightclubs changing though too. I see some nightclubs adding some experience
Yeah.
to it, and they're not all not all changing or whatever. But yeah, there's
Well, it's
some
going to be
good stuff.
interesting because that's where the money was, obviously, bottles and stuff. So it's going to be interesting how clubs shift with that
Right.
as the because at the end of the day, if people aren't showing up to the club and
Right.
spending that money, the club's got to do something or else
Right.
it's going to close.
And then, I mean, the economy hasn't been the greatest either, and that has something to do with this. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens if the economy starts to bounce back. That's probably going to be. I think Strawberry Moon's going to have the best season, honestly. Though, day clubs again. I feel like day clubs are open air spots. It's almost got a festival feel. So I think that
it's more of an experience.
Well. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, people might not want to go out till 3 a.m., but they want to party in the sun with the pool.
Right,
Exactly. That's literally an experience that
Exactly.
you're paying for.
Yeah.
So it's worth it in that regard.
Right.
So are you trying to get in any of the festival circuit stuff, or still mainly club circuit?
I would like to do some. I did one in Costa Rica in September. It was a new one.
I saw that. I just missed you by a week in Costa Rica.
That's right. That's right.
Love Costa Rica.
Oh my God, beautiful. That was called Echo. I think they're getting ready to do their second one.
Okay. What was the vibe?
It was cool. It was kind of like, there was Wheats. Wheats played. It was like a different. It was a more underground / it was tech house. That's Latin
what I heard
house.
the Costa Rica scene is like. I heard it's more underground, actually.
Yeah, it was underground. Very cool spot. But yeah, I would like to get into some more festivals. Right now, I just want to. I'm still trying to perfect my sound. It's like a never-ending thing, and I'm sure every producer knows this. But I'm always trying to make my stuff sound better than the last time, last track.
As long as you're beating your old tracks, that's the goal.
Yes. I see that happening, but it kind of sucks sometimes because when you release a track, there's a delay, right? You make a track, by the time it comes out,
could be 3, 4, 5, 6 months.
And when it comes out, you already have a new track that's done that sounds better than the one that came out, that's about to come out. So it's like, but
that's the nature of the beast.
Yeah, it's nature.
And I think you touched on an important fact. You should never try and really beat another producer's track.
No,
just try and beat your own track. That's the game.
Yeah,
as long as you're improving on your own, you'll feel good about it.
And release, don't hold in.
I think West End spoke about this on a TikTok or something the other day. He was saying that these producers that are whatever, like the Martin Garrixes, these big producers, they have all of these resources like mixing and mastering engineers, additional sound engineers, vocalists that are getting professionally recorded. That they have these additional resources that you might not be able to afford as a up and coming producer. So don't focus on beating that track. Just focus on beating your own track.
Exactly. When you get to that point, then you can get the best of the best to do to finish your songs if you want. But I like to do it myself. So.
All right. Well, we got to hop off here, but thank you so much for coming on the Wired Sound podcast, and we'll definitely get you back soon.
Awesome.
And look forward to seeing some sets in Miami with Christiano Jordano.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother.
Cool, Thank you, man. Thanks. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm happy we touched a lot of it. We haven't spoken anywhere about label stuff or
that was
anything like that.
That was great.